Good morning. Please stand and join us in our opening song, Use Me. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth or the stars or all of creation. God is creator, all in all, leading us to shine its light as me, as you, so use me. Oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new, and God needs us to shine its light as me, as you, so use me. Oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. You may be seated. Thank you very much. Welcome to Creative Living Fellowship. My name is Deborah Covington, and I am the host for today's service. I want to say hello to our online visitors. We welcome you from Facebook or our website or YouTube, and we hope that you will leave a comment so that we can acknowledge your presence. I want to thank everyone here in person for joining us, and I want to also establish a hello to any and welcome to any new time visitors, whether you're online or in person. Online, we invite you to go to our website and sign up for the email list where you will be able to receive weekly messages from CLF and all the events and happening here at CLF. At Creative Living Fellowship, I want to tell you a little bit about us. We are an independent religious science church, and we honor all paths that lead to truth. Our deep intention here is to be a community of love, care, and connection that opens hearts, expands consciousness, and transforms lives. And we do that through the principles and practices of the science of mind and spirit. The science of mind is a new thought, ancient wisdom teaching that provides us with the tools for living our best possible lives. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, said, "Love is within us. It cannot be destroyed. However, it can be ignored." Let's take those words in. Today, our musical inspiration is Reverend Glenn Swain, and we want to welcome him back. It's been a little while. Welcome. And our pre-service meditation was facilitated by practitioner and animal chaplain Fran Peck. She is also facilitating our high watch. She's holding high watch, which means that she is sitting in meditation and prayerful contemplation, holding the space for the perfect unfoldment of our service. Thank you, Fran, for your constant service. Reverend Mary Jane Hyde is serving as our practitioner of the day, and she will be offering our evocation. That will be followed by our congregational chant, The World. I think we all know that here, so please sing it with feeling and meaning. The words will be on the screen. You can also be interactive with it. After the chant, Reverend Mary Jane will be back with the inspirational reading of the day. I want to thank Reverend Mary Jane for her service today as well. And now I'd like to invite her up for our evocation.
Thank you. Good morning, CLF. So if we want to an evocation, let's get quiet. Let's let go and just recognize the qualities of spirit, the qualities that we want to express right here, right now, which is love, peace, harmony, joy, capital P power, intelligence. So those are the qualities that I recognize, and those are the qualities that I accept are expressed right here, right now, in, through, and as me. Because I'm one with the divine, as each person here, each person within the sound of my voice is also one with that same divine. And I accept the qualities to be fully expressed through each of us, through this service and through the rest of the week. So in this knowing, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the service. I'm grateful for how everybody expresses through this service, and all are fed spiritually through the work that we share here today. It'll be through the music, through fellowship, and through the divinely inspired words that come through Reverend Sherry, through the readings, through all. And so I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for how everybody is fed, and how even those who are not part of this can be fed through the energy with which we do this work, and the energy that we express. It goes out beyond the walls here, out into the world. And so I say thank you. Thank you. And together we say, and so it is.
Oh, there's a place of great love for all. The world is a place of great light for all. When all's said and done, we're all from the one. The world is a place of great peace. I am a place of great love for all. I am a place of great light for all. When all's said and done, we're all from the one. Oh, I am a place of great peace. You are a place of great love for all. You are a place of great light for all. When all's said and done, we're all from the one. Oh, you are a place of great peace. We are a place of great love for all. We are a place of great light for all. When all's said and done, we're all from the one. Oh, we are a place of great peace. The world is a place of great peace.
And so the reading today is More Loving in My Heart from For the Inward Journey by Howard Thurman. I want to be more loving in my heart. I want to be more loving. Often there are good and sufficient reasons for exercising what seems to be a clean, direct resentment. Again and again, I find it hard to hold in check the sharp retort, the biting comeback, when it seems that someone has done violence to my self-respect and decent regard. How natural it seems to give as good as I get, to take nothing lying down, and to announce to all and sundry in 1,000 ways that no one can run over me and get away with it. All this is part of the thicket in which my heart gets caught again and again. Deep within me, I want to be more loving, to glow with a warmth that will take the chill off the room when I share, which I share with those whose lives touch mine in the traffic of my goings and comings. I want to be more loving. I want to be more loving in my heart. It is often easy to have the idea in mind, the plan to be more loving, to see it with my mind, give assent to the thoughts of being loving. This is crystal clear. But I want to be more loving. I must feel like loving. I must ease the tension in my heart that ejects the sharp barb, the stinging word. I want to be more loving in my heart, that with unconscious awareness and deliberate intent, I shall be kind, a gracious human being. Thus, those who walk the way with me find it easier to love, to be gracious, because the love of God, which is increasingly expressed in my living, I want to be more loving in my heart. Namaste.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody online. Hey, hey, we see you. This song called Comes from the Heart really matches up with the reading we just had, and the message today. When I was a young man, my dad had told me a lesson he learned from a long time ago. If you want to have someone to hold on to, you're gonna have to learn to let go. You got to sing like you don't need the money, love like you've never been hurt. You got to dance like nobody's watching. You gotta come from the heart if you want it to work. Now here is the one thing I keep forgetting. When everything is falling apart in life as in love, I need to remember there's such a thing as trying too hard. You got to sing like you don't need the money, love like you never been hurt. You got to dance, dance, dance like nobody's watching. It's gotta come from the heart if you want it to work. You gotta sing like you don't need the money, love like you never been hurt. You got to dance like nobody's watching. You gotta come from the heart if you want it to work. Gotta come from the heart if you want it to work.
Wow, thank you, Reverend Glenn. Good morning, everybody. Let's take a breath together. Thank you. I love that song. That was beautiful. And I love that reading, More Loving in My Heart. That's one of my favorite readings. And one of my favorite words in that reading from Howard Thurman is thicket. I've always loved that word thicket because that is what our hearts get caught in, the thicket in life. The thicket is what our hearts get caught in, and we get just all messed up. So thank you, Reverend Mary Jane, for the reading today. So let's take a breath again. We are talking today about forgiveness still, because the theme for the month is forgiveness, a new beginning. And the topic for today is dare to walk the talk. Dare to walk the talk. And you know, we're always walking the talk. What we have to dare to do is to walk the talk that we want to be walking. Because again, we're always walking the talk. So I will be just dealing with the idea of walking the talk, walking what it is that we believe, walking in the direction of what it is we want, walk in the direction of our prayer work. Because the talk is our beliefs, the talk is our thoughts, the talk is things that we say. The walk is how we live our lives, how we conduct our lives, and whether or not we are walking or living our lives consistently with the talk that's going on always. And again, the talk is the thoughts, the talk is the beliefs, the talk is the action. I mean, the talk is the actions, and the talk is the words also. And so I want to be more loving in my heart. In order to walk the talk of love, we've got to have forgiveness. In order to walk the talk of peace, we've got to have forgiveness. In order to walk the talk of patience, we've got to have forgiveness. In order to walk the talk of harmony, we've got to have forgiveness. And so forgiveness undergirds everything. It is a part of everything. It is essential to everything. It is essential to us walking through this life. And so as we walk the talk, what we want to do is begin to live a life of forgiveness, live a life of letting go, live a life of being open and receptive, and not being caught up in thicket. Not being caught up in the thicket in which our hearts can get caught over and over and over again. And you know, sometimes we think about the talk of our teaching here. Sometimes I think about the talk of our teaching here. Are we walking in the direction of the teaching? Are we willing to walk the talk of science of mind? Basic talk, change your thinking, change your life. That is so basic. That is so simple. That is not easy. That is not easy at all. Change your thinking, change your life. Think about it. Change your thinking, change your life. How easy is it to change your thinking? How easy is it to change the things that you've been programmed to think, and the things that you continue to program yourself to think? Because whatever it is we're thinking, whatever our thoughts are, that's how we proceed to act. That's how we proceed to walk. That's how we proceed to live our lives. We label ourselves. Society labels us. We get labeled as children. We get all kinds of labels. So because of these labels that we get, we walk the walk of the label. We walk the talk of the label, whatever it may be. I'm not a morning person. That used to be my talk. That used to be my belief. I'm not a morning person. My mother was not a morning person. She was grumpy in the morning. She didn't want anybody to talk to her in the morning. And we knew not to talk to her in the mornings because she was not a morning person. Whenever she decided she was awake enough, then she would talk, and it was okay to talk to her. She wasn't mean. That was just understood in our family. So as a result, I was not a morning person. My sisters were not morning people. My father was all over the place because he was a morning person. He didn't have anybody to talk to. But, but because of that, I remember how long I lived my life not being a morning person. I didn't want to get up in the mornings. I couldn't wake up without a clock. I couldn't wake up without an alarm going off. And then after the alarm went off and I didn't get up, then about 15 minutes later, the radio would go off and it would blast. And it would nearly scare me out of bed because it was so loud. And then shortly after that, somebody would call me to wake me up. And then shortly after that, somebody else would call. So I had all these things that had to happen because I wasn't a morning person. And I couldn't get up in the mornings. And this went on for years. Poor Cheryl, this went on through her life, through her childhood, of hearing that radio go off that would scare her half to death. And the phone ringing in the morning, somebody trying to wake us up. And that's because I had bought into my walk was, I'm not a morning person, so I can't get up in the mornings. I need all these things to happen before I get up in the morning. This went on, as I said, for years, because that was my belief. That was my thinking. Changed my thinking. How could I change that? I'm not a morning person. Fast forward, I went to Agape and I was having a session with Reverend Michael one day, and I mentioned to him something about the alarm not going off, or something about being afraid of oversleeping or whatever. He said, oversleeping? What does that mean? And I said, I'm afraid I won't wake up, so I have to have the alarm, and after this happened, and somebody has to call me. And he's like, how do you oversleep? I don't understand that. And I said, well, I'm not a morning person, so I can't wait. He said, well, what kind of person are you if you're not a morning person? Who told you that? He said, you know what? There's that within you that knows what time it is. There's that within you that knows when you're supposed to get up. All you need to do is decide that I'm going to get up at 6 o'clock. I'm going to wake up at 6 o'clock, and there's that within you that will awaken you. Are you sure? Does that know what time it is and what time it's supposed to get? Suppose I don't hear it. Suppose I don't, I just went through all kinds of things. He said, if you really believe what you say you believe, then you know that there's that within you that knows when it's time to get up. There's that within you that knows when it's time to wake up. You don't need all these external things to wake you up. I decided I would try it. And lo and behold, 5-10 minutes before it was time for me to wake up, I woke up. And that kept happening over and over and over again. I would go to bed and say, oh, I got to get up at 4 o'clock. Oh, I got to get up at 6 o'clock. Oh, I got to get up at whatever time. And I would be awake. Magic. It was like magic. And that's when I really realized that there was that a door had opened. I had released that old belief, that old idea that I'm not a morning person. I had released that label. I had opened myself up to the possibility that there's that within me that knows, and that Noah within me is always operational. That Noah within me is always doing, always guiding, always leading, always directing. I had to be willing to trust that within me. I had to be willing to walk the talk, because I always talked about how I trusted God, but not to wake me up. But you know what? I don't use a clock to get up. If I decide I'm going to take a nap, I'm gonna sleep for 10 minutes. I'm a 10-minute napper. I'm going to sleep for 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, I'll wake up. In an hour, I'll wake up. If I need to get up at 3 o'clock, at 3 o'clock or just before 3 o'clock, I'll get up. I wake up. It's because I learned to let go of that label. I learned to let go of that false belief that I'm not a morning person, or I don't know what time it is without a clock, or I have to depend on externals to have happen the things that I would like to have happen in my life. Now, that's a simple example, but just think about things in your own life. What are the things that you have bought into in your own life? What are the things that you believe that have to be a certain way in order for your life to function? I have to have my coffee in the mornings. I have to have my whatever it is that we say. What if you don't have it? I went through a period in my life, many years in my life, when I smoked 3 packs of cigarettes a day and drank 2 pots of coffee every day. I couldn't go to sleep at night if there were only 3 or 4 cigarettes in the pack, even though I was already in bed. I had to get up and go out to the store and buy a pack and bring some back so that I'd have that comfort zone. Crazy stuff. And then one day I just didn't smoke anymore. I just didn't smoke anymore. And my life went on perfectly. I stopped drinking all that caffeine and all that coffee and all that. But that belief in the external to make my life work was not walking the talk that I had been living. The talk is that which guides us. The talk is that which the beliefs, the thoughts, the things that we buy into. But the walk is what heals us. The walk is what heals us. When we walk through that period of when I walked through that period of not smoking anymore, when I walked through that period of not having to have all these external things wake me up, that was healing for me because it was growth for me. It really enhanced my ability to trust and my ability to know that things work out just fine. That things work out, and they're always working out. Believing that there's a power for good in the universe, and then I can use it. That was exactly what I was doing. I was using that power in the universe that is for good, just by trusting that I will wake up when it's time to get up. And so I'm inviting you to really look at what is it that you believe? What is it that you have always thought? What is it that you think about now that you buy into? You know, we do the same kinds of things with health issues. We do the same kinds of things. Don't get attached to whatever the dis-ease is, whatever the health issue is. If health is what you want in your life, what you really want is to have wholeness revealed. We can't have wholeness revealed when we are so bought into whatever the problem is. I had a client once who, a counseling client who was coming to me, and we had been working together for quite a while, and then I didn't see her for a while. And the next time she came in, she told me that she had been diagnosed with MS and that she didn't have a lot of time because she had gotten involved with all these organizations, all these groups, these MS groups. And what they did, they were support groups. They talked about MS. They talked about the symptoms. They talked about the treatment. They talked about all kinds of things. And I'm saying, why would you do that? And she said, because I need to know as much about it as I possibly can. Why? Why do you need to know all that? And she said, so that I will know. She said, I go to these groups, and then I really would like to know how long it's going to be before I'll be in a wheelchair. Really? You see what happens? We get caught up in these things. We get caught up in these diagnoses. We get caught up in all this stuff, and we start to learn as much as we possibly can about it. And the more we learn about it, the more we move into the consciousness of it. And then the more we start to look for those symptoms in our bodies, in our experience, and we start to look for all these kinds of things. And then we start to experience them. Because that's the consciousness in which we live. We have developed the mental equivalent of whatever the disease is. We've developed the mental equivalent of whatever the problem is. That's how we live in this society. And I'm inviting you to stop it. I'm inviting you not to do that. You don't need to know everything there is to know about a particular ailment and then say, I know I have this, so this is why I do that. Or we do the same thing about our children, about everything. And so I'm inviting you to walk the talk of health, walk the talk of wholeness. What does wholeness look like? You want to know what wholeness looks like, not what the disease looks like. You want to know what wholeness looks like without being attached to what might happen down the road with this dis-ease or whatever it is that we may be experiencing. And so I'm inviting you, walk the talk of what you want. If you are praying for health, if you are praying for wholeness, then continue to pray and walk in the direction of wholeness. Walk in the direction of taking care of your body temples, walking in the direction of prosperity and abundance, walk in the direction of whatever it is you want to experience in your life. Here's a caveat. Whatever it is you decide that you really want to experience in your life, Anything that is unlike that is going to come up. If you really want to experience more love, be more loving in your heart, then the thicket comes up. All the stuff, people who get on your nerves, situations, circumstances, all those things that will pull us away from what we say it is that we want to experience, all those things seem to come up. They're coming up for healing so that there's nothing else there but love. If you say you want to have more patience, you want to be a patient person, oh, trust me. Somebody will give you the opportunity to be patient over and over and over again, over and over and over again. And what we have to do is to be willing to say, okay, this is what I want, and to claim what we want, and then stand in what we want, and know that I'm going to walk the talk. I'm going to walk the talk. I'm going to prove what I believe. I'm going to walk in the direction of my beliefs. And as I walk in the direction of my beliefs, sometimes it makes us feel alone because we feel like we're the only ones, because other people are going on about doing the kinds of things that they have always done, acting the way they've always acted, getting what they've always gotten, experiencing what they've always experienced. But they seem to be happy and going along. And we are here now trying to change. And as we try to make these changes, we can feel alone. Trust me, it's worth it to walk through that time alone so that things can change, so that we can live a freer life, so that we can live a fuller life, so that we can live the life that we were created to live, so that we can have the kind of life that we really want to have, so that we can be free. We can be free of the fear. We can be free of the doubt. We can be free of all the stuff that goes on. When we want peace in our lives, we have got to be willing to have things that are unlike peace come up so that we can begin to experience peace, and we can be places of peace in this world. When we look around at the world now and all the unrest and all the chaos and all the violence and all the stuff that's going on, and we wonder, why can't there be peace? Is there peace in here? Is there peace in your own heart? Is there peace in your own mind? Is there peace in your own experience? And if not, let whatever it is that is unlike peace come up for healing so that you can release it, so that you can let it go. That's a walk of faith. That's a walk of trust. That's a walk of discomfort. That's a walk of change. And that is a walk of freedom. Because that is a walk of really consciously practicing the presence of God, consciously being in that place, in that space where we know we are cared for, where we know we're taken care of, where we know that healing is happening, and where we know that we are having the opportunity to live our best lives. That's what is so important for us to do, is to really start to look at what is it that you really want in your life? What is it that you really want to experience? Are you willing to walk the walk of that? Are you willing to walk the talk of that? What does that mean to you? These are all questions for us to ask ourselves. What does that mean? What do I have to do? Because as I say all the time, the science of mind is a teaching of personal responsibility. There's not a God out there that's going to bestow it on us. We have to do it ourselves. This is a do-it-yourself teaching, a DIY teaching. I couldn't remember how to spell it. That's a DIY teaching. We got to do it ourselves. We got to be open. We got to open our own hearts. If we want peace, it's up to us. It's up to us to hold a space for peace, so that peace, we are a part of the solution. We are part of what it is we want to see in the world. If we want to see peace in the world, we got to see peace within first. We got to see peace within. If we want to see love in the world, we got to see love within first. If we want to see change, we got to be that change that we want to see. We got to walk that talk ourselves and be willing to walk that talk ourselves. It isn't someone else's responsibility. It is our responsibility. And so I'm asking you, are you willing to do that? Are you willing to free yourself up? Are you willing to allow yourself to change? Are you willing to allow yourself to have the things that you want in your life? That's a question that I invite you over and over again to ask yourselves. What do you really want? What do you really want? What are you afraid to have? What are you afraid to have? Because you know if you want something and you decide that I've set my intention to really go for this, something's got to change. You got to change in some way, because if you didn't, then you'd already have it. You'd already be there. You'd already be experiencing that. And so be willing to change, be willing to go through the discomfort of doing something different. Be willing to move out of your comfort zone. All of these things are a part of walking the talk. Walking the talk. Do you really want it? What is it that you really want? What is it that you're praying for? What is it that you've been praying for? What is it that you've been praying for? Are you walking in the direction of your prayer work? Are you praying for peace and you got all this chaos over here and all this anger over here and this is what you're dealing with on a daily basis or on a regular basis, or on a periodic basis without doing anything about it? What is it that you really want? What is it that you're really praying for? What is it that you're really looking for healing in your life? What area are you looking for that healing? Then you got to be willing to be that place in that space of healing. You got to be willing to walk in that direction. And as I said, anytime we start walking in that direction, anything that is unlike it comes up. Anything that is unlike it comes up. Anything that's unlike it comes up. And we have to be willing to fasten our spiritual seatbelts so that we can walk through that, whatever it is that comes up. We got to be willing to walk through that so that we can get to the other side of it. We got to be willing to walk through the fear. We got to be willing to walk through the isolation sometimes, and isolation from others who are not willing to do what it is we do. Ernest Holmes said, don't let other people ridicule you and rob you of your opportunity to change your life, to do something different because you aren't doing what they do. And so the thing for us to do is to set our intention to live our lives the way we want, according to our own beliefs. If we believe in this teaching, then be willing to walk the talk of this teaching. Be willing to change your thinking, change your life. Be willing to know that there's only one power and there's only one presence and there's only one life and there's only one mind, there's only one breath, and then live like you know that. Be willing to practice being in unity with that one. Be willing to practice being in unity with that one. And what does that look like? It looks like something different for each one of us. It looks like something different for each one of us. How does that look in your life? How does that look in different situations? That's what we have to be willing to do, to really see what does that look like today? Because the way being in unity with the one looked yesterday doesn't always look like that today. It depends on situations and circumstances. But what we have to know is that in the midst of every situation, in the midst of every circumstance, that one is. That one is always. That one is available to guide us. That one is available to direct us. That one is available to protect us. And when we're feeling isolated from other people, how do we live through that? How do we, if we're feeling separate, if we're feeling unforgiving toward others, how do we walk through that? How do we walk through that when we are feeling separate, when we are feeling unforgiving, when we're feeling resentful, when we're feeling judgmental? How do we walk through that? How do we practice forgiveness in that situation? Let's take a breath. One thing I invite you to do when you're feeling really separate from someone, you're really angry with them, you're having a hard time forgiving them, try seeing them surrounded by the light of God. Just seeing them surrounded by light. You don't have to call it the light of God. Just imagine seeing the person you're angry with, the people you're really upset with, surrounded in this beautiful light. And then you step into that light with them. You step into that light with them. Now, that may make you have to catch your breath. That may make you have to take a deep breath. You may have just a little bit of hesitation with that. I invite you to practice that. I invite you to practice surrounding the person you're having a problem with, or the people you're having a problem with light, knowing that it is the light of God, and then stepping into that light with them. I didn't ask you to surround yourself with light and inviting them to step in with you. You can do that, but I'm asking you to surround them in light, and then you step in with them, because it's you who's holding back. It's you who's having the issue. It's you whose heart is not open. If we want to be more loving in our hearts, this is one of the things that we can do. This is a powerful practice. This is a powerful practice. Think about someone against whom you're having some resentment, some judgment, some whatever the case may be. And then surround them in light, and then step into that light with them, and just let this light just shine on both of you, because the light of God is always shining on all of us. But we don't ever imagine ourselves in that bubble of light with that person that we're having a problem with, or those people that we're having a problem with. It's hard to imagine ourselves in this bubble of the light of God with a them and us consciousness, with this consciousness of separation. And so I invite you to walk the talk of forgiveness, walk the talk of love, walk the talk of peace, walk the talk of harmony. It's up to you. It's up to you. Walk the talk of change. Walk the talk of ease, and walk the talk of flow. We can do this. We can do this. We just have to be willing to make sure that our talk and our walk is the same, and recognize that the talk is the guidance. The walk is the work. The walk is where the healing is. And in order to have healing in our lives, we have to walk the walk so that we can then create a space for wholeness to reveal itself. And that's what I'm inviting you to do today. Let wholeness reveal itself. And when wholeness is revealing itself in your life, all the qualities of God are showing up in your life. The love, the peace, the harmony, the joy, all the qualities of God are showing up. These are things that are already right where we are, already within us. And so be willing to let go of whatever it is we're holding on to. Be willing to let go of attachments to the past, or the attachment to the way things have always been, and all that. And just open your heart, open your mind, let go of the thicket. Take a breath and say, yes, yes, I'm ready to walk the talk. I'm ready to walk the talk of what it is I want in my life. And then you get to decide what that is and what that walk looks like. So let's turn within in this moment. Just taking a deep breath right here and right now, just recognizing that one power, that one presence, that one life, that one mind, that one breath, that one that I choose to call God. But by any other name, it is the source of our being. It is my very life. It is the life of each of us here this day. And when we are open and receptive, that one is expressing fully and completely. And I'm speaking the word for each of us this day to be open and to be receptive, to allowing that one to express in and through and as each one of us, as wholeness, as healing in the body temples, as healing in our bodies of affairs, as peace, as joy, as love, expressing freely through us, because we create that space to allow it. We create that space to allow it. And this word is being spoken. But everyone, everywhere, knowing that in war-torn areas, everywhere, God is. In the midst of every situation, circumstance, God is. That there's nothing that's bigger than God. There's nothing that's bigger than God. There's nothing more powerful than God. And so we come into this place of just knowing that all indeed is well, but all indeed is God. And just allowing ourselves to walk that talk of knowing that God is wherever we are, guiding, directing, comforting, protecting, not just us, but everyone everyone. And this word goes out to anyone on this planet needing a prayer this day. And so I'm going to pause momentarily so that you may speak the names of anyone you'd like held in prayer this day. You may speak their names silently or loud, but you may speak them now. And so for all those whose names were spoken here this day, I know that God is right where each one is. Right where each one is, blessing and keeping them. God is in the midst of every situation, circumstance. This word goes out to government officials everywhere, knowing that decisions that are being made are for the highest and the best of all concerned, releasing and letting go of any sense of separation, but working together in unity for all, because God is in the midst. And so I simply say, thank you, Father, Mother God, for the blessing of this day. Thank you, Father, Mother God, for the perfect manifestation of this word. Thank you, Father, Mother God, for everything I simply allow it to be. And so it is.
Of all the places to find a song that says perfectly what New Thought is, a Willie Nelson song called Energy Follows Thought. Imagine what you want, then get out of the way. Remember, energy follows thought, so be careful what you say. Be careful what you ask for. Make sure it's really what you want, because your mind is made for thinking, and energy follows thought. Your mind is in control, even when you do not know. And if you let it idle, ain't no telling where it'll go. Whenever you are sleeping and your dreams take you away, go on with your dreaming and listen to what they say. And if you hear spirits talking, their wisdom can't be bought. Apply it to your thinking, as energy follows thought. Your mind is in control, even when you do not know. And if you let it idle, ain't no telling where it'll go. Imagine what you want and get out of the way. Remember, energy follows thought, so be careful what you say.
Get out of the way. Yeah, I like that. And yeah, Willie Nelson. Wow, surprise. Thank you, Glenn, Reverend Glenn, so much for being here today. And Reverend Sherry, once again, thank you for this very powerful talk. Your constant reminder of us to take responsibility and do it ourselves. I love that. DIY, do it yourself. That's excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you for constantly feeding our spirits. Yeah. And this is the time of our conscious giving, the time where we participate in the divine law of giving and receiving by giving of our tithes and offerings. CLF is a tithing church, and we invite you to join us by tithing here at CLF. As you tithe, we tithe to local nonprofit organizations that are serving our communities and making a real difference in the real lives of people, such as our fourth quarter tithe recipient is Nourish Phoenix. Nourish Phoenix is a community hub that serves vulnerable individuals and families by offering resources and provide pathways to self-sufficiency. And isn't that exactly what New Thought is about too, feeding us for self-sufficiency? If you're online, you can donate by using the button on our website or on our Facebook page, or you may use your cell phone to text to give. You can also do that in-person text to give as well too, anytime. That phone number is 844-941-4360. Whichever way you choose to give, we truly appreciate your constant, consistent support of CLF. For our in-person people, we will have an usher that will come and collect your contributions, your donations, and your tithe while we sing "I Trust in God," our offering song. The words will be on the screen. I'm thankful, so grateful. I'm one in the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender, I surrender. I'm one in the Spirit all around me. I surrender, I surrender. I trust in God. I'm thankful, so grateful. I'm one in the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I trust in God. I trust in God. And now as the usher comes forward, please repeat with me the offering blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God, and so it is. And thank you, Janet, for serving today. And now I'll call up Nicole to do our announcements.
Good morning, everybody. I know we're really excited about the upcoming meetings, so let's get through these. Midday meditations, we have them Monday through Friday at noon on our Facebook and YouTube live streams. And we also hold pre-service meditations on Sunday at 9:30. And then also on Monday, we have Monday practice with Reverend Jorge at 6:30 p.m. Again, through Facebook and YouTube live streams. I am hearing an echo on my voice. It's only slightly distracting. So get your spiritual practice assignment for the week from Reverend Jorge, based and inspired on Sunday's talks. Our community care and connection Zoom meeting with Reverend Sherry is on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. And this week, Reverend Sherry will be leading Life's Purpose Visioning. So join her on Tuesday and catch God's visions for your life. The Ernest Holmes book study is back for the last time this year, and it's just for 2 weeks. So if you haven't joined them at all, this is the time to do it. They'll be studying Sermon by the Sea at Asilomar. And that starts on October 28th and will go also through November 4th. And that is from 10 a.m. to noon in Zoom. You can download the transcript for that through your weekly newsletter or our website. And then we have a workshop coming up on October 29th. And here's facilitator Reverend Dr. Jerry Troyer to tell you more.
In my professional ministry life, I was asked to do something that I didn't want to do. And I struggled and struggled and struggled with the decision, because at the top of my thought process for many, many years, decades, centuries in my life has been the question, if I say no, what will they think? And through this process, through this experience, and finding this absolutely amazing book, titled Radically Content, I came to the realization of what was mine to do and what was not mine to do. And I finally was able to say no. That this is not mine to do. Can we say that? Can we ask ourselves that question and decide and come from our truth? Or are we so concerned about what will they think? All of us come into this moment with our dreams, with our ideas, with what makes our tails wag, as well as our history, our beliefs, our feelings, our guilt, our shame, all of those things. And so what I know is, as we allow ourselves to live the wholehearted lives in integrity with ourselves, we can choose what's yes for us, choose what's no for us, and be content on our path, recognizing what's ours to do and what's not, versus what's somebody else's great idea for us. What in your life are you ready to say yes to? What in your life are you ready to say no to? And is that okay? I hope you'll join me.
So if you're not sure yet how to say no, please say yes and sign up for the workshop, like immediately, okay? And then we'll make sure that you're sure by the end of that day. And you can sign up for the website on our web, or for the workshop on our website, or again through our newsletter. And then after service today, we have our practitioners available to pray with you. So don't walk around with a heavy heart. And if you don't want to do that, you can leave a written prayer request either in our box that's sitting out on the table or through email. And that would be to prayer@creativelivingfellowship.com with prayer request in the subject line. We will have fellowship today, but we're going to have it after our membership meeting. And after service today, we have a membership meeting. It'll be really quick. You guys have time for a bio break, grab something to drink, and then come back, and then we'll get started. And again, it'll be a short one. So that's it. Everything else, all this information is on our website or in your weekly newsletter. And that's it for me. And you are back.
Thank you, Nicole. I'm always surprised when you turn it back over to me. Just want to remind you all, as you know, to use the treatment for supply and the prayer for our country. Those are the two prayers that we're using, and we really need a prayer for our country right now. And we always need the treatment for supply because it's so comprehensive for our entire lives. So I always encourage you to use that. I also encourage you to continue to connect with each other. Text messages, phone calls, getting together, however it is you connect, just to say hello. I love you. I miss you. I'm glad to see you. Glad that we're getting together again, and continue to be a part of the community. As Nicole said, we're not having a fellowship right now. We're going to have a membership meeting that I hope you'll stay for so that we can get some business taken care of today and be done with that. And I think that is, oh, thank you, Reverend Glenn, for being back. It's been a while since I've seen you, and so good to see you and to have you with us today. So thank you for being here. Let's give him another hand, guys. Yeah, thank you very much. And Aaron, the other half of our house duo, is here today. So we're glad that he's here also. Yeah, thank you. So now we are going to stand for our closing affirmation. Today I dare to walk the talk of what it is I want in my life. And as a result, something wonderful is happening in my life today. Excuse me. I know it. I sense it. I feel it. I thank God for it. Thank you, God. And so it is. And we're going to end with the peace song, Let There Be Peace on Earth.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Thank you all. I love you. It's good to see you. I'll see you in a few minutes at the membership meeting.